When I think about what I'm passionate about, it's definitely supporting underserved students, in particular students who are at risk due to low academic performance, limited resources, social emotional instability. All of those factors are involved. In regards to my interest in the field of counseling, I look at it as a step towards growth. As a teacher in the classroom, you're looking at students more on a micro level based on the content you teach. But when you're a counselor, it's sort of you take a step outside of the classroom, and it's more of a macro level where you're not just looking at academic performance. You're looking at the student through more of, I guess, a holistic lens in regards to all contents. Not only that, but also potential career pathways that go beyond a diploma or a degree. In regards to what I would like to learn through the program, I think of three things. First, I think of knowledge related to the theoretical components in counseling, specifically in education, such as principles and approaches that are relevant to today's students. I also think about acquiring the proper skill set in regards to interpersonal skills, knowing that communication and connections are crucial for not only maximizing my students' potential, but my effectiveness as a mentor as well. And lastly, just resources, gaining a true understanding of the resources that are available, whether it be internships for recent graduates, financial aid options for those who need economic support, or even the learning centers that exist on many campuses, such as writing centers, science labs, that students can utilize for success. When I think about what I imagine will be my contributions to the field, the three E's come to my mind. The first E is just to empower. Empowering my students, how do we do that? Just provide resources and tools at their disposal that will assist them in pursuing their goals. Now, what are those specific tools or skills? As a counselor, I have access to academic records, transcripts, proficiency assessments, a lot of valuable data that can help shape potential action plans that I can implement with students that will maximize their personal potential. All students have different strengths, and I think part of the role of a counselor is recognizing those strengths and empowering the students with tools to succeed. I also think about the second E, which is engagement. One of my strengths I feel as a teacher is establishing connections with my students and developing relationships. I think in doing so, I'm able to identify their particular interests. And again, in counseling, when you're able to identify a student's interests or entry points to their success, we can really cater and target specific pathways and create a roadmap towards success. I've also noticed that when you have strong student engagement, it's often highlighted by an interest in the support that's being provided, which will yield the greatest possible results. And then in terms of the last E, I think of empathy, and that's understanding that our students confront barriers every day. They can be cultural, they can be social, emotional, financial, a combination of two or more. And these barriers it's very important that we recognize these barriers in order to address them efficiently. And once we do so, through tearing down those barriers, we're creating equal access to opportunity. And ultimately, without opportunity, there's no success isn't an option. But when you provide opportunities and equity, that's when success becomes a reality. When it comes to working with others to help students, I immediately think of open and honest communication and collaboration amongst all educators on campus. And that means just reaching out to teachers, professors, administrators, resource specialists, all of the educators on campus who can provide me with valuable feedback, input to create targeted action plans to ensure student success. Ultimately, success is never the result of one person's influence. Rather, I think of it as the culmination of institutional agencies that are interdependent upon each other through trust and a strong rapport. In the end, the person who benefits the most from these types of collaborations is the student.